Many of the Indian Nawabs too began commissioning imposing oil portraits by European painters. You have seen how the British posted residents in Indian courts and began controlling the affair of the state, undermining the power of the king. Some of these Nawab reacted against this interference. Others accepted the political and cultural superiority of the British. Next, they hoped to socialize with the British and adopt their style and tastes. Next, Muhammad Ali Khan was one such Nawab after a war with the British in the 1770s. He became a dependent pensioner of the East India Company, but he nonetheless commissioned two visiting European artists, Tilly Kettle and George Wilson, to painted his portraits and gifted these paintings to the King of England and the directors of this East India Company. Next, the Nawab had lost political power, but the portraits allowed him to look at himself as a royal figure. Look at the painting by Wilson. Notice the way the Nawab poses and how he asserted his majority. Next, painting history. Next, there was a third category of imperial art called history painting. This tradition sought to dramatics and recreating various episodes of British imperial history and enjoyed great prestige and popularity during the late 18th and early 19th centuries. Next, British victories in India served as rich material for history painters. In Britain, these painters drew on first hand sketches and accounts of travelers to depreciate for the British public a favorable image of British actions in India. Next, these paintings once again celebrated the British, their power, their victories, their supremacy. One of first of these history paintings was produced next by Francis Heyman in 1762 and placed on public display in the Vauxhall Gardens in London. Figure 7. The British had just defeated Sirajuddaulah in the famous Battle of Plassey and installed Mir Jafar as the Nawab of Murshidabad. It was a victory won through conspiracy and the territory. Mir Jafar was awarded the title of Nawab. Next, in the painting by Human, this act of aggression and conquest is not depreciated. It shows Lord Clive being welcomed by Mir Jafar and his troops after the Battle of Plassey. Next, the celebration of British military triumphs can be seen in the many paintings of the Battle of now Sri Gangapuram, Tipu Sultan of Mysore. Next, Murshidabad encouraged local miniature artists to absorb the tastes and artists styles of the British. You can see this in picture 11. This is a picture of an ID processions painted by a court painter in the late 18th century. Notice how local miniature artists in Murshidabad being adopting elements of European realism. They use perspective which create a sense of distance between objects that are near and those at a distance. They use light and shade to make the figure look like and real. Next, with the establishment of British power, many of the local courts lost their influence and wealth. They could not longer support painters and pay them to paint for the court. How could the artist earn a living? Many of them turned to the British. Next, all the same time, British official who found the word in the colonized different from that back home wanted image through which they could understand India. Next, remember their life in India. Next, and depreciate India to the Western world. Next, so we find local painters producing a vast number of images of local plants and animals, historical buildings and monuments, festivals and processions, trades and crafts, castes and communities. These pictures eagerly collected by the East India Company official came to be known as company painting. Next, what happened to the court artist? Next, what happened to artists who earlier painted miniatures? How did the painters and Indian courts react to the new traditions of imperial art? We can see different trend in different courts. In Mysore, Tipu Sultan not only found the British on the battlefield but also registered the cultural traditions associated with them. He continued to encourage local traditions and had the walls of his place it covered with mural paintings done by local artist. Figure 10 shows you one of these. This painting celebrates the famous Battle of Polular of 1780s in which Tipu and Hyder Ali defeated the English troops.